Look at this. So I have to say, another great spot from the Fifth Element. So I don't know how long you've been there. I'm not positive how long. How long have you been there?
7 years.
7 years, okay. So I've probably been going there since the first year that you opened. This spot is a local spot. I'm sure that you get tourists. I'm sure that that's an important part of your business, but I have to say, every single time that I'm down there, somebody's telling me that they're in the Fifth Element, and you got to go down to meet them. And your location is off the path, so to speak, right?
It's in the locals part of town.
It's in the locals part of town. So it's not where all that crazy beach traffic is going, but if you're a Rhode Islander playing tourist for the day, this is a spot that you have to go check out. You've got an awesome bar. You've got a beautiful bar, right?
And it is lovely.
Yeah, it's got an awesome bar, and it's big.
Yeah.
How many seats is that?
It holds 16 at the bar, and then lots of high top tables.
That are on the outside perimeter over here.
The entire half of the restaurant is bar side.
It's an awesome location. So one of the first questions I have for you before we get to your food, because I get the same question that I just had for Jeremy, is where did the name Fifth Element come from? Because it's a name that's out there, but It's got to be a story behind yours, right?
Yeah, the 4 elements of life are earth, wind, water, fire, and we use that in our decor. We have a big open thin crust fire pizza oven.
Yep.
Then we have, for earth, a lot of recycle. We do fresh flowers. We have, at our original location, which was down on Lower Thames, we brought up our bar, which is now a hanging bar. We brought we bought all the wood that Eastern Ice made their ice blocks under for like 100 years.
Oh my God.
We took all that wood, and that's what our bar top and the riser on the bar is. So there's lots of recycled stuff, and that's the earth. Water, we have water walls behind the bar,
Water
so
walls
just
are very
another,
cool, yep.
just another aesthetic. And then wind, we say, is always the fun that's talked across the bar. We use another word
I like that.
across
That's
that.
cool.
So that's the 4 elements of life. And for us, the 5th element is whatever the customer likes about the place and brings them back. So to us, the customer is that 5th element.
Okay, so that, John, that just answered your question, and that is an awesome answer. So the 5th element is the customer. I love that. That is very cool. Congratulations. That's very cool. All right, now let's talk about this awesome food, because this is like amazing here.
This is one of our most popular appetizer dishes. This is our fried mushrooms. There's a pickled cabbage slaw on the bottom. There's a little mushroom soy reduction that's drizzled around. And then we have our mushrooms that are dipped in milk and then rice flour. So this is a gluten-free offering.
Really? Kate, you're like in the glory today over there, the gluten-free stuff.
Yeah.
So do you have a lot of gluten-free on the menu?
We, at least half to 2/3 of our menu can be gluten-free. Sometimes it's as simple as just saying, I'm gluten-free, and we just don't put like bread on the dish or things like that. And we have gluten-free pizza doughs, we have gluten-free hamburger buns.
So this was in rice, you said it was?
It's a rice flour,
Okay.
and milk is the dredge.
My God, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, what do we have here?
Okay, and this is one of our dishes. We change our menu very often, so things come and go very quickly, but this is really popular right now. This is our marinated lamb tips over Israeli couscous. We have an herb chimichurri, a cucumber salad, and again, wildly popular, and our chef just pulls from all sorts of different areas.
There was something else, I know you changed the menu, when I was there, last there was 2-3 weeks ago. And I said at the bar, there was something else that I had with lamb at the time, and it was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we have a lamb poutine over French fries.
That's what it was, because I had the French fries. Oh my God, it was unbelievable. I didn't even eat half the French fries because it was so good.
Yeah, I grew up in Canada, so poutine has been kind of a traditional.
There we
dish
go. So that's for some of your influences there. Okay.
Exactly.
And I have to say that Fifth Element also has some of probably the most amazing cocktails. And yes, people, I do have cocktails when I'm heading away. And you have a book.
We
Cocktails,
do.
right?
Drink a book that's actually in the back over there.
Awesome. So talk about the book of cocktails. 'Cause I think that's something that gathers a lot of your locals coming in to try these different drinks.
Yeah, we're really blessed. There's a lot of great places in town, and we just happen to love whiskey. We just happen to love trying to craft cocktails. We spend an awful lot of time researching, reading books. We've had a lot of influences from around the country, like bars like Death & Co. We take inspiration from some of their drinks. We maybe tweak it a little bit for ourselves. This is a drink. The whiskeys just haven't slowed down. We call this a rye knot. My business partner Frank made this one up.
Rye knot.
Yes. So because why not?
You got to check this ice cube out. Look at that.
Yeah, it's one of the big cubes.
Tony, look at it. You have this drink just because the ice cube's in there like that.
Yeah.
It's a shot.
So it's a really nice rye whiskey. It's 95% rye. It's called Redemption. We have a little splash of Domaine de Canton, so you have some ginger.
Okay.
A little bit of Aperol, which is a cousin of the Campari. And then we have a piece of grapefruit twist.
Grapefruit twist.
Yeah, so I know everybody brings wine in.
I'm okay with
but I thought we'd do a little bit of a whiskey taste.
Wow.
So it has that bite of the rye, but
Yeah.
when you have the finish, you start to get the notes from the other ingredients.
So from a perspective of this, it's because you're extensive, your list is very extensive, that book. So from that perspective, Are the servers and the bartenders helping guests understand that they can pair these drinks up with certain dishes?
Oh, absolutely, and that's my favorite part of the job, is people come in and they don't necessarily know what they want to do. So we just ask them, we start off with a couple of what do you likes, and people generally fumble a little bit, and then you throw out the question that really gets to where you want to go. You say, what don't you like? 'Cause people always seem to know what they don't like more than what they do like.
That's absolutely
So
true.
we kind of craft it around them. That's how a lot of these drinks have kind of been made. It's just us listening to our customer base and experimenting, and the experimenting is the fun part.
So I have to say, even though I am the ultimate wine enthusiast, this is an incredibly great drink, number one. Number two, I would have no problem pairing up probably a quarter, for me, of the cocktails that are on there with the different dishes they do. And I think that that goes to the point of being able to experiment. And all these destinations that we're talking about in Newport are something that you need to go and experiment with, because they're each have their own uniqueness to them. And this alone, the options for the gluten-free, and I did not know your Canadian background, I think that that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But to be able to get the gluten-free and to be able to pair up a drink with a cocktail, and you can still have a glass of wine, because God knows I will.
Absolutely.
But this is that's a unique thing. I mean, your list is pretty extensive. I don't come across that extensive of a
Yeah.
list.
Well, it's a weakness of ours. We definitely get as many whiskeys in as we can. We have a really cool whiskey rail, so you have to come in and check that out.
So what's that? What's the whiskey rail?
When we were in transition from one location to the other, Frank actually found a railroad tie that washed ashore in Little Compton, and we just kind of kept it, and we turned it into a Scotch rail. And it's now hanging above our bar, and we have it on a cool little device, so it raises and lowers. So it's kind of a showstopper when we have a busy night.
That's very cool. I saw it, but now I didn't search that. That's very cool. So let's talk about the fifth element in the environment. So we talked about the bar already that you have there. The rest of the environment of the restaurant has those decor pieces that you spoke about, but it's set up differently. You've kind of got like almost like a lounge-ish type area, right?
Yeah, we always like nooks. People like to be in an area. In our original location at the farm, it was a very thin and long style of seating, and at the end there was a horseshoe table, and we always joked and said it was the mafia table because everybody could keep their back to it. So we recreated that in the current bar, so people remember that from the old location and still call it the mafia table. And then we have some couches, we have some high tops, we have a hanging bar. That was our original kitchen countertop, so another recycled thing.
That's very cool.
That people
The
can
hanging
kind
bar.
of like walk around the whole thing.
Right.
And our windows open up to the elements as well. They fold open. So we have a lot of little areas that people like to hang out in.
And I think that, and you can eat and drink in all those areas. It's
Yeah,
not
same
like you can-
menu, same
right.
drinks, everywhere you sit.
And that was one of the questions I had.
Yeah.
People are like, can you only lounge in those areas or can you have food? I've eaten in all of them. I've sat, I've stand. That hanging bar is such a cool element
Yeah.
to go around and see. It's very unique. It's a very unique thing to see. So menu-wise, let's talk about some of the other items in your menu. I know you change the menu on a regular basis, but where does that theme or that concept from the menu creation come?
Well, we're really blessed to have a very talented chef, Marina. We're a female chef, and she's dynamite. She really understands what Frank and I have been trying to do with the restaurant. We're a really good team, and she really believes in input,
Yes.
so she talks to her team. They talk to us. They bounce things off. As we're coming to new menu item changes, she'll actually put specials on, and we get feedback from our customers. And it's really fun because we get to challenge our customers with different flavors, and
Nice.
like the lamb tips.
Great.
And same with our cocktails. And it's funny, they now challenge us back because they're ready for the next thing.
That's
and
awesome.
It's a pretty exciting
That
relationship.
fact
we
that you
have.
make that change is something that's gotten a lot of feedback. People look forward to that, coming in and
Yeah.
trying out the new dishes. And I have to say, your chef, I've seen her out even in the dining room.
Yeah.
So she's very receptive to talking to customers and doing that. She's done a great job.
Yeah, she's very accessible, and she actually loves that feedback when people talk to her.
So we've covered the menu, we've talked about the environment right there. From a perspective year-round, you guys are a destination.
We're very lucky to have a really large local following. When we moved from the one end of town to the other, it was fantastic how the day we opened our doors, we probably Facebooked it out at 3 p.m. and that night, it was one of our busiest nights to this day, still, that first night we opened. And it's all locals, and any day you walk in there, whether it be summer, spring, winter, fall, it's locals. People share their family moments, their birthdays, holidays. We'll do funeral
So
parties.
I just got that. So someone was asking about special events. So they said they attended an event there. I lost it now, but someone said they attended an event there. It was a special event. So you guys can do private events.
Absolutely. It's a little more difficult in the summer
Right.
because we're just busy due to the nature of what Newport is. But we can do corporate parties of a cocktail sale up to 250 people, and we can
Wow.
do small little parties of 10, 12. So
And you guys are, I mean, all of you are connected. Everyone that I brought in today has this great connection. And working with Discover Newport, the Convention Visitors Bureau team down there, you guys all come together from the hospitality community's perspective. And your area just got a whole
Absolutely.
facelift where you are, right?
Oh yeah, they did a big Broadway streetscape. When we moved into that area 7 years ago, when we were talking to the banks about our building, that was the first thing that was integral to our business plan, was talking about what was going to happen. And yeah, there were some difficult times that was going on, but the city was really great at keeping us informed and giving us time frames and telling us what was going to happen when. And like anything, we're now on the other side, so it's great.
And it's beautiful. I mean, I have to say, when I parked last week to stop and to go over there, the streetscape of what they did, the cobblestones, the sidewalk, even the way they were parking the cars.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic how they did it.
Yeah, they put in some pervious pavers that trap any like oils and gases, so
Right.
it doesn't get into the groundwater and the ocean. They did a really smart, awesome job.
And it's not, if you're looking for the Fifth Element, I mean, definitely go on and check out their website, but if you're looking for this location, you are not more than 2 minutes outside of the prime tourism area to come
Right.
down. You're actually close to City Hall, leading into some of the neighborhoods to go past there. And you started, I think, because of that streetscape, and probably you coming in 7 years ago, it started this whole concept of more restaurants coming into that area.
Oh, it's a wonderful little area. There's 4 restaurants across the street from us, and each of us are a little different. We're all owner-operators,
Yeah.
and we all offer something a little different, which is great too. So if you come up there and it's a little busy in one, you can pop into another and get a whole different experience.
Right. And I know people have done that, gone across the street for a drink and then waited
Yeah.
to come in for you to
Oh
get
yeah,
in there.
and vice versa. People pop in
Right.
for a drink and they'll pop across the street as well. So it's a real nice relationship there.
Last question I try to ask everybody, whether you're a chef or an owner, is to come in, is that what would you say from your chef's perspective, and you being the owners, what's something that people shouldn't miss, whether it's cocktails or menu items, things that are traditional that are there? Because people are always saying, I'm only out there once in a while, what should I miss, what should I get?
Well, I'm going to go to our dessert. We have a dessert called sticky toffee pudding that is so divine. It's we'll never convert chocoholics, but we definitely thrown it into the mix of what a chocoholic likes. It's a traditional English dessert. Pudding actually means dessert.
Yep.
What we would call pudding, they call custard. So it's just a generic term for that course. And it's just a wonderful dish. It's all made in house. And it comes actually from a friend of ours that was a chef at the U.S. Embassy in London.
Really?
Through one of the housemaids there. It was her family recipe. So.
That's a great story.
Oh, it's dynamite. And people actually will eat dinner elsewhere and then come to us for
Come back for the dessert.
Yeah.
Can never go wrong with dessert. Dessert and a nice cocktail.
Absolutely.
So great. Well, Brad, thank you. This was awesome, educational. Thank you for making me have a cocktail. Greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
Yeah,
coming and
pleasure.
sharing this time
Thanks
with
for
us.
inviting me.
Make sure you check out the Fifth Element because you don't want to miss this stuff.